Hi there, good morning. I am Dani Henderson, and I'm so excited to bring my friend Jeanne Marie Russell to you. Before I make her say hello, I've known this lady a few years, and I've said many times on this channel, this is the lady I bought my beautiful Andara from. She's the one who introduced me to them. This is on the island of Kaua'i, one of the Hawaiian islands. And, I'm so happy. Jeanne Marie Russell, welcome, my darling. How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you. So happy to be here. Yes, I'm great. I'm so glad to see you, Dani. It's been too long since we've connected,
I know.
and it's so fun to be here. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, of course, of course. And yeah, so again, like I say, there's so much to you. And years ago, I first came to your Dolphin Touch Wellness and Retreat Center in the town of Kapaa in Kauai. And I came there with my fiance, Jeff, who, as we know, has since passed. But we had such a great time. And you're so connected to the angels, to the dolphins. Can you talk a bit about why you named your retreat center Dolphin Touch, please?
Oh, wow. Well, I've always been connected to the dolphins my entire life, and they are my teachers. And it really was a humbling experience for me, my whole journey connecting with the dolphins, because um, I mean, way back since seventh grade, uh, I'm probably aging myself, but my dad used to get the National Geographic magazine delivered, and they had these. Did you have a little 45 player when you were a kid? Played the
Yeah.
records.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so in the magazine, there was this paper record, actually it was like vinyl, and you'd put it on your record player and it played dolphin sounds.
Oh,
And just hearing their clicks and whistles and everything that they make, I was like, I am hooked. I love that sound. My seventh grade teacher had us do a report and pick an animal. And of course, I picked the dolphin. And I thought, the dolphin was just a fish, didn't really know a lot about dolphins. And then I started researching for this report, and I found out their brain capacity is comparable to ours, if not more.
mhm.
There's so much complexity to them. If you look at their skeletal structure, it's very similar to ours. They have fingers, it's just in their pectoral fins and all these things. And I was blown away and sold from that moment on, watched Flipper and everything else. And my journey started where I really thought that I was going to save the dolphins, because dolphins had been getting killed in tuna nets, as you recall, and all that stuff was going on. And I was protesting and fighting for the dolphins. And then I did a meditation, and the dolphins said to me, "We don't need saving. We're here to save you." And I was like, what? Wait a minute. I thought I was like an activist saving the dolphins, and they're like, "We don't need saving. We're good, but we're here to save you, to save humanity." And it just opened up a whole nother channel of information and downloads and messages from the dolphins. And just, I looked at them as totally different than I had been looking at them. And it just opened this doorway to infinite knowledge and information, and so many messages I've learned from them. So of course, when I had a healing center, I wanted to dedicate it to them, because I know now that my mission on this planet, I'm very clear about what I'm here to do, and I'm here to raise the vibration of as many people as possible, to raise everyone's vibration for the ascension process. We're here to assist. And I just, in this lifetime, am human, but definitely had a lifetime as a dolphin, lifetime as a whale, lifetime as a Lemurian, lifetime as many different things, many lifetimes, old soul. But that message is been true all along, and that is to help humanity in their ascension journey, and to help others make that journey as swiftly and easily and clearly as possible, because it is a painful journey sometimes going through this ascension journey. So I'm
Yeah,
just here to assist with that.
it is. I love that. Jeanne, you just came alive discussing the dolphins. I mean,
Okay.
we've been hanging out for 30 minutes before we actually hit record. And you know, talking about what we've been doing and, you know, what we're going to discuss and stuff. And then we didn't even really touch on the dolphins at that point, because that's just such a part of who you are. And then boom, shakalak, you just became this other
Just
extraordinary,
like,
right?
I know, I'm actually like really warm right now.
Yeah, because that's what lights you up. See, that's when you're on mission, when you're on purpose, that you know what your mission is. I made some notes. One of the things that, well, when we walk into your kitchen at your healing center at the Dolphin Touch Wellness and Retreat Center in the town of Kapaa in Kaua'i, there's this beautiful painting, and it's this beautiful mermaid, and she's surrounded by dolphins, and somebody did that for you, and they said you are the mermaid, right? Remember? Well, you see it.
So that's Laura Alicio, and she actually painted that's my soul. She does soul paintings, and so she actually also channels and goes into meditation, and so she did that soul painting of me, and it's a beautiful image of this woman, beautiful long hair and surrounded by dolphins, and that's where I go when I'm in bliss.
You know,
Yes.
in the last few years, not just the COVID horror, but, you know, people like Doreen Virtue, who years ago I would say to friends, wow, that woman has cornered the market in the angelics. You know, she came out as a psychologist, a very brilliant woman, really started feeling into all the goddess energy or the fairies or the angels, made so many different decks of cards, really cornered that market in metaphysics and spirituality, and then turned a sharp right-hand corner a few years ago and now condemns all of that, which is a huge insult and blasphemous to the people that did her training, that also have had their own angelic experience. So there was a massive push from a darker essence of this planet to keep people away from the light of themselves. And so you mentioned that you remember being a dolphin, you remember being a whale, and there are so many people that will go, ha 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 ha, she's a crazy nut job. And I understand that, even though that's not true, because that person that points the finger and mocks, they are so far in the rearview mirror. They are so the smaller minority on our planet now, because it's too late. Truth's out. We were all different beings. We've had many different lifetimes. Now, when I was very first meeting you, I was on the phone to you and I was booking.
Before you jump in, can I just say one thing? You know, when I started my center, I've been open now 13 years. And when I started, I would tell people that I channel the energy and vibration of the dolphin when I work on them, when I do the energy work, and because there's a whole story with that too, of how that started. But when I told them that, there were people that just turned around and walked out, and I'm like, okay, see you later. And I'm like, oh boy. All right, well, you know, maybe I should curtail some of the way I say it or the way I present it. But nowadays, when I tell people, I channel the energy and vibration of dolphin, most people are like, wow, that is so cool. How do you do that? I want to learn how to do that, blah, 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 blah. And it is like, you know, you just have to wait for the world to catch up to you sometimes, to catch up to your, and you know, to who you are. And just like, they'll figure it out, you know, they'll come along, you know. I mean, sure, I had to deal with people that definitely thought I was nuts and still do. But, you know, like you said, you know, I just learned, and if anybody has a center or is looking to create a center, I put my intention into this center that I would attract those people who were ready for what I have to offer, who were open to what I was sharing, and not to waste time with other people. You know, they just will, like, even I've had people come up and kind of turn around and walk away because, you know, they're not ready for what we're offering. And that's okay. Everybody is on their spiritual path, or wherever path they're on, wherever level they're on, which is fine. But I just put the intention that I will attract, and the people that walk in my center are ready to hear or ready to receive the information and the guidance and the gifts that we're sharing here. And it has been that way ever since I set that intention. So that is so powerful, to have that intention and it manifests just as you intended. And that's what's been happening. So it's awesome. But
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It's all important as well, because what Virtue did when she kind of put a big blanket over spirituality, mocked her own work for many years. And I saw that woman live in LA on stage when she was married to Stephen Farmer. She was one of the most beautiful beings of light I had ever seen. She was the best clairvoyant medium. There were 2,000 people in that audience, and she was gifting, and the people were sobbing and crying because her messages were coming from love, not what the Christians, hardwired Christians, say. That's the devil. Shut up and sit down, Christians. I'm fed up with you being so negative. If you're not full of love, you're not following the teachings of Jesus. Now sit down and think about that, because it's time. Enough now. All these judges, oh, they're so judgy. You know, like you said, God bless you for coming forward, for being light years ahead of a lot of people, for standing strong, Jeanne, and being who you be, and preparing this center. And you've helped so many people. And every time I come to the center, there's people there. It's just a really loving place. You have the Andaras and many crystals there. But I wanted to say something else brilliant about you. When I was on the phone to you the first time, and I was drawn to the center, and I'd already seen you all over Facebook. I used to love watching your Facebook lives, because you were my plug-in to Kaua'i, which is a soul home for me. And so I would enjoy it. I would see the red soil, I would see the beaches that you were on, and I would get my intake of Kaua'i, which I believe to be Lemuria, which is the term for Atlantis. So I'm on the phone to you. We're not FaceTiming, we're on the telephone. I'm booking my rooms at your center. And you said to me, I can really feel Dolphin with you. I can really feel it. And I said to you, oh, I really love them. I'm so always been so drawn. And you said, no. You said, there's really something, because there's a really strong image. And I'm like, oh my God. I was sitting in front of my massive dolphin painting. Massive. That you know, Wyland, the guy that goes around the world painting. Okay, so awesome. Years ago I had a couple of quid, and I commissioned him to do a Chinese brush art, like a black beautiful, just a simple drawing of a dolphin after my grandma Jeanne, who'd passed away. So we call that Dolphin Jeannie. That's her name. And I was living in America at the time, and I was in Oceanside, and I'd taken the Wyland with me because I took it all around the world with me. And it's so bloody big. Not easy. But yeah, it was sitting behind me, so it was literally in my field. And you were so insistent that there was some kind of dolphin energy more than just me loving them. And I'm like, yeah, this girl Jeanne, she's on fire.
I forgot that story. And, you know, just to go back to, Doreen, I was trained by Doreen. Actually, Doreen was part of my awakening, and I still love her. I mean, whatever she's going through, she's going through. I think she's in fear consciousness. But I mean, I still love her cards. I was trained I'm actually a trained angel therapy practitioner from her. I got level 1, I got level 2. We saw her many times, got to know her. I actually told her that she was a mermaid, and she really connected with it. If you look at her, she looks just like a mermaid. Yeah, totally. That long hair. Now there's like a dark cloud over her. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting that we all are on our journey, and we're all connected on different things, and we go different paths. And really, and I think we're going to talk about Andaras too, but the thing is, it's about connecting with your heart and what resonates with you. If you hear something or somebody tells you something, you will feel it in your heart, the truth of it or not. And it's just that simple. You know, you'll tune in. Like when I tuned into you, I could tell right away. You know, I'm very selective about, you know, who I work with and interact with, especially if you're going to stay with me and hang out with me over here. I don't say yes to everybody, but I tuned into you. I felt your energy. I felt your heart, you know, such a big heart that you have. And I just said, yes, whatever you want to do. Dani, you want to come? Bring your fiance, and Jeff was awesome too, connecting with him and spending time with them. Both of you guys were amazing. It was just a great time that we had here in Kauai.
you know, he was such a big giant, as you saw, and such a sweet, beautiful man. And we chose this Andara together at your kitchen table. And he used
Yeah.
to wear this. He used to wear this Andara. His kids would make fun of him. They'd be like, Dad, what are you, John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever? You know, and he wore it the night before he passed from a heart attack. So I love that, you know, I talk about him now and then on my channel, and I love that you actually met him, and it kind of, you know, it brings me joy to always talk about Jeff Smith, my
You know,
beloved.
Dani, what I was tuning in, you know, before the meeting today, and it was like he's in that crystal.
Mm.
That's what he wanted me to share with you. Like his essence was transferred into that crystal because he knew he was going to pass somehow, some way. And I know you had a great story about how, you know, his energy came through when you needed him to. And even though he's on the other side, I mean, what a great power.
Yeah,
He's still around you constantly.
totally. You know, well, I'll quickly tell that story because I don't know if I've told it to
Yes.
the viewers. Not that I want to make this about me, of course. This is a two-way conversation we're having, but I really want to focus on the work that you do. So I was in the jungle, and it Costa Rica, and he died a few weeks previously, and I went to this retreat place, and I thought it was going to be all that and a bag of chips, and you know, it was like a 5-star resort, but it was like very organic, no alcohol, no cigarettes, no nothing, you know. And when Jeff died, I was like, God, you know what we do, self-destruction, because I was just a zombie when he passed. So I went to this place, and there were some really lovely people there. But it was up in the jungle in a place called Pierre Zeladon, which is up in the jungle, and not where I ended up living. Anyway, so I'm walking down the road, and I've got my little black purse I have, and my umbrellas in it because it rains a lot in Costa Rica. And it's a little jungle road, and then suddenly you're on a bit more of a path, and there's some little shanty type houses where the lovely people live, and they're all very happy. And they don't, you know, they're not ruined by the Western world. So, and they're out on their evening walk, and I'm saying, Buenas noches, hola, the little ninas running around, and ninos, and there's all these kids on their bikes, and there's one giant teenager on his bike that kept going back and forth, and I go, hola, hola. And then anyway, something said, turn back. So I started turning back and walk past the bar, and there's a bar, but it's not really a bar. It's kind of a makeshift room with a table and a chair, but that was the bar. And I remember looking at that and laughing, and then carrying on walking down, thinking how sweet and how quaint this was, and how lucky they were to not be so destroyed as some of us are by the Western world's pressure. So I'm walking back down, and then that boy comes by me again on his bike doing a wheelie. And I remember thinking, gosh, how funny, all boys, all men, they all need to show off. Look what I can do. I was kind of laughing to myself. And then I'm walking back down, and I'll go past the little houses, and now I'm right in the jungle by myself. And it's a steep walk up. It's like a 3-minute walk up a hill, but you're in the depths of the jungle. But at the top is the hotel. Most people in that village work at the hotel. There's nothing else there for them to do. Anyway, so I come around the corner, and the giant man boy is standing waiting for me. And right before I got to him, I felt Jeff stand beside me. And I'm like, oh my God, darling. Then I was laughing. I said, oh my God. I said, you and I would have jumped in that bar. We would have had a couple of quick beers. I said, and right now you'd be walking back to the hotel because we planned to go there together. So he literally would have been with me on that timeline. And I said, you'd be holding my hand. And he said, as clear as day, get your umbrella out of your bag. And I looked down, I pulled my umbrella out. I had a big wooden handle on it. And I said, it's not raining, you know, but I did as he suggested. And then he pulled back. He was standing right behind me back here. I come around the corner. There's the boy waiting for me. Now he pretended he'd fallen off his bike. And so he was yelling and screaming at me in Spanish. And I didn't really understand him. And he's trying to get me to bend my head down to look at his knee. And then I knew in that the quantum seconds we have to think and feel so much. And his hand was coming for my neck. He was going to push me down. And I got my umbrella, and thank God I had it in my hand. And I smashed him as hard as I could across the face. And then I flipped it round, and then I jabbed him in the throat. Now, when I hit him in the throat, whatever was possessing him popped out of his body, because that man was completely possessed. grabbing at me. It was horrible. It was terrifying. And then I went into a murderous rage, because it's my life or his, or whatever he thinks he's going to do. Wrong bitch. And I'm smashing him. I have my Dr. Martin boots. I was kicking him. I was whacking him. I was screaming. I was trying to make as much noise and try and get my voice up to the little houses I just walked past. Anyway, it was horrible. He goes running. Then he did fall down. Then he did cut his knees. And then he was crying. I get back to the hotel. I very calmly told people, because there were children at the hotel. Anyway, we got the police involved. It went to court. It was an online court. It was horrible. But I knew this boy has a serious problem, and he's a giant, and he would absolutely really hurt someone. And then the judge said, it's in your hands. You can send him to prison, or you can have him have psychological help. I'm like, he's a young guy that did something really terrible. He's clearly screaming out he's got a serious problem. I don't want to, be the one that decides what to do with his life. That's not my role in life. So he's gone for severe psychological help, so that's what will happen to him. But yeah, I told you that story the other day, and but with Jeff. And
I love it. That's quite a story. That's quite a story. It's amazing. The way I definitely feel like the veils are lifted in so many ways. I know you do mediumship, I believe, and there's so many people that do, we're all having that ability to tap in to loved ones that have passed, and connecting with the past, all these interdimensional beings that are connecting with us in so many different ways. So yeah, that's an incredible story. The Andaras have been known, and I think even in your in your instance, to change people's lives. I don't know how many people that I have shared Andaras with have told me, this Andara has changed my life. It's changed my life. And so it's like, if you're ready for a shift, a high-powered shift. And I love this story of how your Andara wound up being a heart when it really wasn't that originally. And then you came and we had it wire wrapped for you into more of a, because you had it wire wrapped originally in one way. And then we had a girl here, Jeanne Ruman, lovely lady.
So lovely.
So lovely. There's so many amazing beings on this island. I'm just blessed to be surrounded by such wonderful people, and making it into where that piece broke off and it became a heart. Of course it did. So well, when I came to see you a little while ago, because I was on the island for Christmas with my friend Diane Forster, and came to see you there. And you invited me for one of your beautiful breakfasts, and there was so many gorgeous ladies at the table, and it was just so ironic. But of course it happened this way, that the original wrapping, something happened, I dropped it, and the shape changed. So I had it wired in Costa Rica, and it wasn't very good, and it was wired the wrong way. And I decided next time it gets shifted, I'm going to have the heart shape showing, which is now developed into being a heart shape. And then, so I'm sitting with you at breakfast. I haven't seen you for a couple of years, and we're chit-chatting, and I'm telling you the story. And at the end of the table is Jeanne, the lady that wrapped it in the first place. And what's so beautiful about Jeanne Ruman, can you say her name again so I get it right? Yes, Jeanne Ruman.
Jeanne Ruman, just gorgeous.
Yeah, you said it right, Jeanne Ruman.
So she took the Andara and she took it to her house and she wrapped it and she played her harp. She played her harp to it. I mean, how beautiful is that?
I know. It just keeps going. Yeah, I'm just blessed to be here. We just play in this fantasy world every day, playing harp, playing crystal bowls, playing with crystals, doing healing. This is the water massage table, it's just like, that's our life,
Well, it's no fantasy, my love. It's a reality. It's a physical reality, physical, creation reality. And that's where the heart and soul
anchored it in.
Yeah.
And then anchored in this reality with our intentions.
And so many people are trying to get back there. They really are. Let's talk more about the Andaras. How did you find out about them? What is your big connection and draw to them? And talk about the one you're wearing, please.
Yeah, I'm wearing a whale tail. And this one has actually been carved. Yours is more in the natural state. And both are beautiful and amazing, and I just love it. Andaras for me, how did I get introduced? Like, you know, it's been 15 years since I've been playing and dancing with Andaras. And I would say that was part of my spiritual growth as well. There's so many things that happen simultaneously. Doreen, Andaras, Reiki, learning Reiki, and then the channeling the dolphin energy just kind of all culminated at once. I just really were drawn to them. I mean, there's a energy and a vibration that you feel with them. And I'll tell you a story since we're sharing stories. One of my first Andaras was kind of dressed like this divine feminine. It was like that sculpture that you see of a mother with like a big woman with multiple breasts, right? I don't know if you've seen that, like it's kind of indigenous sculpture. It's a big woman with multiple breasts. Well, this Andara looked exactly like that. And I would hold it and it would fit perfectly in my palm. It would just fit there so perfectly. And I would hold it and do my healing work. And at that point, you know, of course, I didn't have a center. I wasn't even doing healing work professionally. I was teaching at the time. But my husband had gotten ill. He'd gotten pain in all four of his extremities, his arms, his legs, and he was in discomfort. And of course, you know, the heart connection, when someone you love is in pain, you want to help them. And at the time, I had read Barbara Brennan's book, Hands of Light. Actually met her in New York, got to go to a workshop with her and just thought she was great. And she could actually see auras and colors. She could look at you and see different colors and tell you what's going on with you. Well, I was holding the Andara and my husband was in pain. We were in bed and he had gotten up early to go to work, but I was running energy on him, just doing hands-on energy. And this is before any Reiki training. And while I was doing that, you know, he's like amazed. He's like, oh my God, my pain went away. This feels great. You know, I feel great. And so he gets off and goes. So I'm in the bed, still holding the Andara, still like I had some more time left to sleep. And the Andara just shattered into a million pieces.
No way.
Just broke off all over my bed. I mean, it was incredible and it was shocking. It was like, oh my God, what happened? You know,
extraordinary.
And it was amazing. And so I'm picking up the pieces, but I couldn't even get all the pieces because I mean, some of it just shattered like shards, like powder, like dust. And I had that in the bed with me, and I feel like it you know, part of it like attached me, or you know, it was on me. I couldn't get off. And this Andara shatters. Oh, right. And I was like, wow, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? And it said, no, Andaras will do this. They will shapeshift. They will disappear. They will come and be on your counter, and then it will be gone, and then it will reappear somewhere else. All these crazy stories I've heard about Andara. So I took the Andara, all the shard pieces that I could, picked them up, put them in a little Ziploc bag. And I'm like, okay, Spirit, what am I supposed to do with this now? And they said, we will tell you what to do. So I'd go on my day, go on my, you know, journey, days, and I would get a message, give this person an Andara. And even it was just a tiny little piece, you know, some of it was shared. They said, this person needs an Andara. So I would give this person Andara. I said, you know, they didn't know what it was. And I just said, it's a crystal, you know, feel into it. And then they would say, give this person. And so meanwhile, my bag is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so there was one person, I was like, oh, I think you need an Andara. And I go in my bag to get that little Ziploc bag, and it's gone. Just shifted, went into another dimension, went into another realm, and then boom, no more Andaras. And that was the end of that. And the magical property that these Andaras have really had some wild experiences with us, you know, with the people I've shared them with, like your experience alone, such a beautiful story. So many people have told stories. So for me, the Andaras, I feel that day, because I was lying in that bed, I feel like I merged with the Andaras, because there were pieces and shards and everywhere. I couldn't possibly pick them all up. And
Wow.
I was sleeping in the bed, and I feel like I merged with that Andara, and that Andara has been working through, you know, connecting with me and assisting me in the healing and so many other ways of working with the Andara. So that was just one story that we had
That's
with the
beautiful.
Andara.
What color was that particular Andara? Because we obviously need
That
to
was
share that.
called an elder, and an elder is like this color. Let's see if I can show you. Kind of like this, it's kind of got a light green to it, like a light green color, and it was like that color. And these were the first Andaras I'd ever been exposed to. Eventually, they wound up, there was a person here that had a store called Life Treasures, and we go in there, and then so all they had was elders, and that was this was the elder, and then there was the shaman stone, and that, so it was just these colors, and then all of a sudden rainbow colors started appearing, and then we had these colors, and then we had blues, and then we had greens and aquas, and all of these colors started coming through, and it was like, wow, okay, this is really interesting. And now, yeah, and but yeah, when we first started working with the Andaras, it was just the elders, and it was just that those kind of two colors, the shaman stone, which is the brown, and then that color.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, I have to tell you at this point, I've completely lost access to my cursor. Somebody else has taken it over and is messing. So we're just going to continue, but I can't see you. So I'm hoping that you showed all the different colors. And that store you mentioned, that island store, I remember that Island Treasures from like 20 years ago that was there, because I was on that island then. Yeah, I remember that beautiful store. It was the most magical, enchanted place to go. It was so beautiful. Can you share with us that, because so many people have just this beautiful love now for Andara, because then now is the time to really highlight them. You're doing a teaching class, an Andara class coming up soon. Can you share about that, please, so people can get in touch? They can sign up for the class and learn more about the Andaras.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's so the course is Andara Crystal Course. I didn't get that creative with the name, but it's a 4-week program.
Keep it simple is always the best rule.
Exactly. It's a 4-week program, and every week we have a Zoom call for an hour, and we're going to talk about how to use Andaras, what the history of Andaras are, why you're chosen a particular color of Andaras. There's Andara oracle cards that were created by Erica Rock that really speak to, if you're drawn to a certain color, it'll tell you what's going on, you know, why you're drawn to that color and what that Andara is doing for you. And the how to meditate with the Andara, the energy and vibration of the Andara, you know, the real understanding of what the Andaras are. Now the you'll see from these images, I don't know if you can see, Dani, but the image of the Andara is holding light. It's a crystal, like, you know, a lot of people will say it's a glass. It's hard to say whether it's a glass or a crystal. I mean, there's no category really for what these are, but you see how the crystal, it's not like a piece of glass where light just goes through and you'd be able to see me behind it. It is, these crystals hold the light and diffracts the light within it. So it's holding a vibration, and it's a higher frequency than we're used to. And there's a lot of interesting theories. You know, we've only discovered Andaras in the last 20 to 30 years. And why is that? You know, we've had and amethyst crystals. We've had all sorts of crystals, right? We have all sorts of crystals that we've discovered. Why just in the last 20 to 30 years have these crystals arisen to the surface where we could actually connect with them and see them? Well, in my opinion, it's that we had to raise our vibration high enough so that we were able to connect with these high vibrational crystals. You know, there's some work that if you connect something with very, very high vibration, you know, it could really, like, you know, upset your balance, where these are now adjusting to our vibration because we have evolved so much. And even if, you know, I work with other crystals, I work with Lemurians, of course, and selenites and different crystals as well. And the Andaras will enhance any crystal you put next to it. It will enhance the vibration of that crystal. But the thing is that we are evolving emotionally, spiritually, energetically, that now we can relate to this high vibrational crystal, that we can hold that vibration ourselves and we can connect with it. And that's my opinion of why they've showed up just recently, where they haven't been around for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah, it's lovely. I love it. And those, you know, this, you mentioned the selenite, which is an selenite, selenite. Yeah, that one. And I say to people, you know, beautiful, a high performing angelic resonance. I mean, I used to sleep with my selenite wand, kind of looks like a salt bar almost, and I would sleep with it, lying down with it on my head. I don't recommend that to everybody. And it's the only crystal one of which, if you get it wet, it's going to just disintegrate. I mean, it goes to kind of fairy dust or angel dust. And what was the other crystal you had there to enhance with the Andara? Oh, the Lemurian.
Well, I didn't bring it, but I did mention, yeah, we have the Lemurian crystal.
Yeah.
And definitely, yeah, you know, Lemurian crystal, I love the Lemurian energy.
Yeah.
And
can you explain the difference? Sorry to interrupt, but this came up the other day. Can you explain? So this is a Lemurian, and
yes.
it's not, this is not a Lemurian seed, it's a Lemurian. Can you explain the difference between how we can tell the Lemurian to the Lemurian seed, please?
Well, oh gosh, I'm not probably the best person to do that, but the Lemurian, the way you know it's a Lemurian crystal is the striations across different, you know, across the side. And Lemurians are not like clear quartz. Clear quartz, you can see through them, they're like glass, where if you look at Lemurians crystals, they look like water. You know, it looks like you're looking through water. It's not like a clear glass of water. It's like the energy of water. Now, there are doorways. If you see, if a crystal has a triangle, that's a window. And there are certain masters, Isis, and points that, you know, I don't even want to, I would probably butcher the proper definition of what that is. But I will say that the Lemurian crystals also, you know, I resonate with them so much, and I connect with them. And the combination of and Andara, like I said, it enhances whatever properties you connect it with. And you can actually charge your crystal. You know, if you have an Andara, you can charge your crystal on top of an Andara to raise the vibration of that crystal and to have it emanate and be used at a higher, but, you know, to enhance the properties of this crystal.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have the Lemurian there? How long have you had
I
that
do,
one?
about 15 years. And, you know, the authentic ones have the ridges, of course, and they're not just straightforward clear quartz crystal. There's a very obvious difference. I mean, you would have to be, you know, Mr. Magoo needing extra glasses to not recognize how easy it is to see the differences. So the ridges, they say, the recordings, and these crystals were encoded, you know, with mathematical frequency, especially for this time of ascension. And there are people that say the Lemurian seeds are a ridge, and then it's plain, and then another ridge, and then it's plain, whereas this one is like, there's the ridges, and then it's kind of plain, ridges. So some would say this is not a Lemurian seed, but I think that as we are bringing more information for people right now, and reminding them that there's no such thing as the New Age. That is a distraction. That is a program from the agencies that run your planet. There is no such thing as New Age. If anything is New Age, it's those bampots who are trying to make you feel stupid. Everybody, don't dare play with crystals. Shame on all of them, because crystals have a life force energy, and you put any one of these, any crystal that's real from the beautiful earth, under a microscope in certain laboratorial situations, it will blow your mind. The life force energy. Why do you think there's crystal in computers and watches and everything that matters, that helps technological wise? So we got to return back to our own education on the crystals, what they can do, how they can enhance our lives, and then those of others, those we love, and then those that we're here to help and support. I really feel
absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, crystals really, these are just tools. I mean, we are a crystal. We are a tool as well. We have properties within us that, enhance those. We could tap into all sorts of things, all sorts of knowledge, all sorts of information. It's just a tool to assist us, and understanding that this is for good and it's a positive tool. If you're going to look at it as something negative, then guess what? That tool's not going to work for you. If you have a belief system that there's something negative associated with that crystal, then it's not going to work for you. But the Andaras, you can lay them on the body and try. I mean, if anybody has an Andara, put it on your third eye, and you will feel the vibration and the energy coming through it and the information. And when I think of Lemurian seed crystals, what connects with me, and like all crystals are me seed crystals, but what connects with me is that this crystal has information for you. It's seeded information, it's knowledge, it's ancient knowledge, ancient information, that when you tap into it, you're accessing that information. And anything, the Andaras are the same. The Andaras have information with them. And if you meditate with them and connect with them, you can tap into that information as well. It's just, if you think about Superman, and the movie Superman, where he goes into that time warp and he's got all, he puts crystals into the machine, and that's what activates it, and all of a sudden the machine comes alive, and he's in this cave, but it comes alive. Well, that's what these crystals do. They will activate information if you have the right combination, or tap into the right code, or if you are in that right vibrational place, you can access that information as well, all the information of that crystal that you're holding.
It's so beautiful, Jeanne, talking with you regarding the abilities we have, the fact that we are crystalline based, the fact that our third eye, the physical reality of our third eye, when you look at one that's been autopsied, you see the shape of it, this beautiful kind of pine nut or walnut or pine cone shape. It's been called many things. It is the symbolic symbol of the third eye in Egyptian mythology for very specific reasons. And also, if you look at the crystalline electromagnetic frequency, it's called piezoelectricity. So the third eye powers itself, and it is called piezoelectricity. And it is one of it's how we travel, it's how we connect to the divine, to the spirit within us, to the spirit that we're connecting to. It is so amazing. So the more that we do learn to really honor the energy of crystals, whatever they be, Andaras, Lemurian, selenite, rhodochrosite. This is my newest one that I got in Kaua'i. Look at that. It's a labradorite. Now it's so stunning.
So beautiful.
And do you know what it reminds me of so much? And I've been talking about the beach of Anahola, where the souls come into the planet, and Polahale, which is where the souls leave the planet. This looks so much like Polahale. The Polahale, because the cliffs there are so huge, and then the ocean comes right up, and I just couldn't take my eyes off it. And I got that in Kapaa, in that little town Kapaa, and next to the it's called the Orchid Alley. orchid
Yeah,
alley, right?
that's the blue lotus.
The blue lotus.
I think it's called the blue lotus. But yeah, that see, that's what crystals do, and that's using it as a tool. It's evoking a memory for you. It's evoking a connection to a land and a time and a place and everything else. And it's emitting a feeling. It's the same thing with art. You know, when people, you know, the art that we have here, this is the art of Jeanne, you know, it evokes a feeling and emotion, and that's what we're all about. You know, we're about connecting with our emotions, connecting with our memories, opening our hearts, feeling those feelings and letting those feelings flow. So if a crystal does something to you, just these two ladies that I was sharing with you, that had bought these crystals from me, I mean, they were in tears. I'm sharing with them. I just do. I usually will do, if anyone's going to buy an Andara from me, my best way to do it is do a video call with me, because we have so many, and the crystal will call you. You will be guided. You're like, what's that one? I want to see that one. And so they grab these crystals, and I'm reading okay, so they picked a color. I'm reading the card about what that crystal means, you know, what that intention is. Tears are just falling down their eyes. And I am just like, you know, I just love this. I just love our life. I just love doing it. I mean, it just, I could cry right now just thinking about it. And one of the crystals, this is the crazy thing too. It's in the other room, but I can show you. One of the crystals that they picked, all of a sudden, a dolphin morphed into the bottom. I've had this crystal for a while, never saw it. This woman said, I think I want that one. I pick it up. She's like, oh my God, look, there's a dolphin in the bottom of the crystal. I could get it for you, but I was like, oh my God, of course there's a dolphin in the bottom of the crystal, which, like, so many times we've looked at these crystals. I mean, that's the other thing. Gosh, you look in these crystals and you get lost. It's like you see worlds in there. There's worlds in there. And every time you look, you see something different. My girlfriend, Jeanne, who wire wrapped you think, I don't know how many times she's been through my, oh, look, there's a whale in here. Oh, that one, there's a dragon. Did you see the dragon? And I'm like, what? Oh my God, yes. You know, oh my God. It's like a fantasy playland, I'm telling you. And you know, these women that we were connecting with that bought these Andaras, they're like, oh, I cannot wait. I haven't even mailed it yet, because I have, you know, been on with you. And then, oh my God, they're like, it's like Christmas coming, you know, and they're excited. And that's what it's about. It's about having that emotion, like that labradorite for you. It evokes an emotion for you, it evokes a memory, it evokes a connection to Kaua'i, it evokes all these things. And it's like, whoa, yeah, that's what it's meant to do. And that's when you know that crystal, and it wants to work with you. And that's how it's working with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
really love that you talked about, you know, it's really interesting what you said about Polahale. Because yeah, and so we should talk about, like, Anahola is where, you know, and if you want, I'll tell you the story of how we found out about Anahola being where new souls enter the planet. So are you interviewing Puna Dawson at some point? Or yeah, you might ask her about this story, because I'll probably butcher it, because but I'll tell you the short version. She connected with the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama came over to Kauai. Nobody knew that he was here. And nobody really at that time knew who he was. This is probably 20 years ago. I don't even know.
Longer.
I don't know the details of all that.
Yeah.
What?
It was in the 70s. And
it was in the 70s. Oh my God. It's like
Tintin or something. Yeah.
Anyway, it was a long time ago. And so he came over. Puna Dawson doesn't even know who he is, gets in her car, and her brother's the one that set it up, or a cousin or something. And he said, take him to Anahola. He wants to go to Anahola. She's like, okay. And at that time she was selling flowers. And so he's in the car, and you couldn't even, her door didn't open. You had to climb in through the window or something crazy like that. And anyway, you get in her car, this beat up car. She's got flowers all over because that's what, and she was going to a wedding. And there was this special flower that would only open once you touched it. Touch it, it opens, it blossoms, and it was for a wedding. So the Dalai Lama's in her car, and she's got all these flowers, and he was like going to touch that flower, and she smacks his hand. Dalai Lama, she smacks his hand. It's like, don't touch that. That's right. But anyway, he gets to Anahola, and he's like, this is where new souls enter the planet. He gets on his knees, and he is in reverence, crawling across that beach, because he knew that this is the place. This was the beginning. This was the connection to the souls entering the planet. And then she drove him to Polihale, and that was his connect. He said, this is where souls exit the planet. And I'll let her tell, I'm sure, a longer story when you interview him. But also Polihale is where the dolphins are. That Polihale is that Nepali coast, and the dolphins are every time there. Every time I go there, every time the dolphins are there. And they are the transition between this reality, and they are the rainbow bridge between interdimensional beings and jumping in and out of dimensions. And so they connect with that multidimensional energy. And so we had a friend, and he had passed on, and we brought his ashes to Polihale. Yeah. Dolphins. There was a boat that went out to sea, and the dolphins followed that boat out to sea. And he had wanted to be buried at sea, and he actually had a coffin with holes drilled into it because he wanted the fish to eat his body. Such an interesting thing, but that was his wish. And when they took his body out to sea, you have to take it, I think it's 3 miles out before, and the dolphins following them the entire way. And so they know, they're so connected to this realm, the other realm. They know what's going on, and they can see a lot more than we can about the energy and vibration, what's going on interdimensionally and everything else.
Yeah. Oh, so beautiful. So many. We could sit here for another 4 hours.
I know. We could just go on and on and on. It depends on how far you want to go down the rabbit hole. If you really want to go down the rabbit hole. What do you want to say? I
was going to say, a rabbit hole, as opposed to, really, this is the truth of your life. These are the experiences that you've had. These are the stories that you've heard. These are the reasons that put you together right now in this vibratory resonance of running the Dolphin Touch Wellness and Retreat Center in Kapaa, Kaua'i. This is why people come to you. This is why I found you years ago. This is why you were the one that introduced me to the Andara in the first place. I got mine from you. This is also why I heard the stories, the legends of Anahola and Polihale from you first. And then, of course, I met with Auntie Puna and the story of her and the Dalai Lama. And again, now, because we've been so programmed, all of the great people that we were told were great, there's many of them now we're told are really dark and really dark. And so because humans are so easy to program, they're the easiest bioorganic beings on the planet to program. So once you hear enough times that Mother Teresa's evil and a trafficker and all of this, and after a few times of hearing that, because you don't do your own research or find out, or you just believe what the people that put stuff in the media tell you, you start to believe that. So we mentioned the Dalai Lama, and that is a beautiful story. And we don't know, I don't know the man personally. And 99% of people that watch this broadcast, they don't know him personally either, or Mother Teresa. So this gesture of him crawling across the beaches is beautiful, and it was holy. And Auntie Puna will tell the rest of the story.
Yes,
lovely to hear it from
I want to hear that episode.
Yeah, from the horse's mouth. But it was you, Jeanne. It was you, Jeanne Marie Russell, that introduced me to this level And then, of course, now I've really dove into it, had my own experiences, and, you know, and I'm just so happy to have you on my Small But Mighty channel and share you as a point, as a person that has all of this information to give and tools to help people, and also to validate people when they were on a spiritual journey before and they all had all these crystals and they've got rid of them because they thought it was stupid and they've got given their cards away. And I mean, me personally, I don't like tarot. That's just me. We resonate differently with different things. The reason probably why I don't like tarot is because when I was training for 4 years at the Berkeley Psychic Institute, spin-off other school that had all the training through another school in Solana Beach, San Diego, we had to color in the rider weight, hang on, I'm dyslexic, I might have put that backwards, the rider weight tarot. And they were this big, they were huge. And we had to copy and color every single card to the exact version of the original card in the box. But by the time I did that, like, you're passing information through you, I was exhausted. And I think that's probably what did it for me. I just kind of ran my energy through the tarot, out the other side, and much more lighter frequency for me with the goddess cards, the angelic cards, and of which I have none. And my move from Costa Rica to where I live now, things are missing. Crystals have gone, cards have gone, pendulums have gone. I'm like, okay, well, I don't need any of them anyway. You know, I'm lucky I can connect, you know, because I've been doing this so long. Yeah, and when I was in your center, you have lots of cards, lots of books, and it's just lovely being there, having a cup of tea with you and whoever else is beautifully there. Or yeah, it's wonderful. Let's talk about your other retreat that you're doing. So we've got the Andara class that's 4 weeks, $150 for 4 weeks, every Monday in February.
Yes.
So let's get people aware of that so they can then really learn to work with the Andaras and enjoy their own. And then we have your Dolphin Energetics retreat.
Oh,
oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, of course I have another meeting. I have a work meeting now. Get carried away with you. The girls are in the waiting room. Sorry. Let's talk about your the Dolphin retreat and what's coming up and the beautiful retreats that you do there, please.
Yeah, so we're going to be taking people on a journey to sacred sites all over the island. We're going to go north, south, east, and west, and each part of the island has a different vibration and a different energy. And we're going to have fun. We're going to do ceremonies. We're going to do meditations. You're going to get some relaxation. You're going to get treatments. You're going to get massage. You're going to get energy work. You're going to get body work. You're going to get intuitive readings. We're going to get guidance. And the theme we're going to move through is preparing you for 2023. I really feel like 2023 is going to be a huge shift, a huge transition for all of us. And I really believe that this is the year, like everything that you've culminated is coming into a point right now. So we're just here to help facilitate that and connect you with that beautiful energy of the dolphin, and to connect you with that vibration of love and light, which is what the dolphins bring, and to help you raise your own vibration so that you can be a channel for yourself of what you're here to do, to tap into your true purpose and embrace that and enjoy that, but do it with ease and grace. You know, like I said, there's a lot of things going on with ascension right now. We're all, there's ascension symptoms. Some of us have tinnitus, some of us have headaches, some of us have body aches. You know, it's us being able to hold that energy, that vibration, those higher vibrations. And so the density has to drop away. So the dolphin energetics that I do in the ocean, everyone will be receiving that. And it's a very powerful, probably the most powerful thing I do. And that is allowing you to let go of the past, let go of your density, let go of everything that no longer serves. And it's like I take you into this higher dimension, take you into an altered state. And then when you come back into your body, you feel different in your body, you feel different in your intention, colors seem brighter, everything shifts, and then you get direction. And we will be moving you forward on let's get you in the direction where is the highest and best for you. So it's going to just be a lot of fun, a lot of good food. You know, Kaua'i, it's got great fruits and vegetables. It's got great beaches. It's got just being on the island is so magical. And then with our experiences added on top of that, and all the pampering and everything taken care of you, where you just are nurtured and supported, is just next level on your, so come join us January 22nd through the 27th. We're going to stay at a beautiful place in North Shore. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to visit different sites and just really connect. And it's all about the inner work right now. You know, a lot of us are focused on the external, like what's going on there, what's going on with the government, what's going on with this one, what's going on with that one, you know. But really right now, all of the work is the inner work. And when we come into alignment with what, like I said, with the center, like we came into alignment with the people we attract here, it's the same thing. When you come into alignment with who you are and who you want to attract in your life, as far as relationships, career, financial, everything, health, and then everything just kind of falls into place. And the dolphins have showed me that it's meant to be with ease and grace. You know, it's not about pain and suffering and sacrifice. It's all about the joy and reconnecting with joy. A lot of people can't even tell you what brings them joy because they're so far removed from it. They cannot connect with it. They don't know what that is. And this is just about reintroducing that joy to you.
Yeah.
Did I tell you the story of how the dolphins saved me, really, in so many ways? Can I share that?
Yes.
So I was out on the boat, and this on the Big Island, we were going to swim with dolphins. And so in order to swim with dolphins, you have to go out pretty deep to swim with the dolphins. And so we went out in you need a boat to do it. So we go out on the boat, and the dolphins come by, and you jump off the boat and you're with the dolphins. And I was amazed that I was able to keep up with the dolphins. I was swimming with the dolphins, connecting with the dolphins. It was great. It was awesome. We had a great time. I'm in the water. And then all of a sudden, my mind starts coming in, and I realize I'm getting farther and farther out to sea because I'm a pretty good swimmer. And I just started going. And I was amazed that I'm keeping up with the dolphins. And I felt like they totally accepted me into their pod. And I was with them swimming and frolicking. And so I had my mask and snorkel on, and I'm just fins, and that's it. And I'm out in the water. But I realized I'm going far and farther out to sea, and I don't even know where the boat is. You know, you're in the water. And I started having a panic attack. I don't know if you've ever had a panic attack before, but I started hyperventilating. And so this is really weird because you're having a panic attack in the water with the mask and snorkel on. So I'm like, and you know, but I still did not want to lose my connection to the dolphins, because if I stopped looking at the dolphins, that would be it. I would be disconnected. So at that moment, I started having flashes of my life. And all those times I let fear stop me from doing what I wanted to do. That I let fear stop me from speaking my truth, because I was afraid I'd be judged or thought weird, and this is before the center, obviously, because now I'm open a wellness center and I just lay it all out. But so I, you know, all of these times that fear had crippled me and held me back, maybe not doing something, afraid I'd get hurt, afraid I'd do this, afraid I'd do that. And all those visions started coming in my consciousness. And then I said, screw it. If this is how I die, me swimming with the dolphins, floating out to sea, then so be it. I'm doing what I love. I'm with the dolphins. If this is how spirit is going to take me, if this is how my life is going to end, then I'm surrendering and I let go. all of a sudden this immense calm came over me, just total calm. And I relaxed, and I just had this, I felt like something released within me, like unscrewed and just released, and like this baggage just fall off my shoulders. Well, finally, after doing that and coming to this calm state, I said, okay, I am going to look at where the boat is, because I hadn't even seen, you know, you're in the water, you don't even know what's north, south, east, or west. You're like totally disoriented. So I come up to the surface and I look up, and the boat is 20 feet away from me.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? How did that happen? I don't know how that happened. I get on the boat. Somebody on the boat was watching. I was like, well, what happened? I thought I was so far out. And they said the dolphins had taken me out and then directed me back to the boat and release. And that's when I came out of the water, and there I was, there the boat was. And at that moment, I was like, wow, what do we worry about? Why, you know, all that wasted time and energy worrying about the worst, you know, and the spirit, like, universe has got you. It's got you by the hand. It's like, surrender, let go. It's all perfect. It all unfolds naturally. And it just, like, you know, just let go. And I just started bawling and crying and just releasing. And it's the same thing when I had this center. I wanted to have a little house, a little room that I was just going to rent. And Spirit's like, no, you're going to have a whole center. You're going to have, and I was like, I don't know how to run a center. Well, that was part of my spiritual growth, learning how to run a wellness and healing center. But Spirit was like, no, we have bigger plans for you. And I'm like, you know, and that's when you surrender and let go and like, okay, show me the way, just show me the way, just lead me. And that's how I've been. Just show me the way, show me what I need to do. And
Beautiful.
I surrendered and let go. Yeah.
That's a great story. Thank you so much. It's so personal and so deep, and I'm so proud of you for sharing it, because a few people will see this for definite, and it'll help them to move on in their own fear. And for people too, I think, you know, at this point when someone says, what do you mean you believe in angels and fairies and galactic brothers and sisters? And that person's saying, prove it to me. Don't prove a thing to anyone, guys. You ain't got nothing to prove to anybody. Your best friend, your husband, your wife, who cares? If they don't get what you get, they don't have to get it. You don't have to lead them to the information and force them to see it. You know, I advise people, just let people walk away who are judging. Remember, they're in the rearview mirror. They're the minority now. The earth is ascending. People like Jeanne have been here for a long time, seeding their wellness centers, sharing their stories, bringing crystals together for helpful healing. And it's not new age. It is this age. It is the ancient age of which we are all part. And a lot of us are returning ancestors. You know, if I'm on Kaua'i and this blue-eyed blonde, I'm just some Howley in a lot of people's eyes. But there's such an ignorance there too, because we all have had past lives. I'm totally Kaua'i. That's my soul home. I've originated there. There's the Lemurian, deep Lemurian connection there. And there isn't anyone on the planet, I don't care what color, I don't care how high they are in the eyes of the world. I know in my soul that is a soul home for me. And there isn't anyone. Let's say I meet a new guy, for example, and he's all like, oh my God, you believe in that, you believe in that, you believe in that. I'd be like, bye, see ya. Who are you? Bye-bye. You know, delete in the phone. No, we have to stand strong. And what you did there, you gave us a beautiful example of who to be, how to be us, because no one else can make us, right? And then it's just beautiful that you were that vulnerable and you surrendered completely. And this is your power animal. And now you have this beautiful center. So I want to come to you for final words. I can now see you again, by the way. I'm so pleased. You're so beautiful. I love how you've always got a bit of color, a bit of mermaid color in your hair as well.
Mermaid colors on here.
So give us your closing words, my love.
Oh yeah, I just want to say that, you know, yeah, what you said about Hawaiian, you know, it's more than Hawaiian, because we're Lemurian. And, you know, I've been here, you know, we were here in the time of Lemuria, and in the time of Lemuria, we're talking, you know, 30 30 million years ago, or 30,000 years ago, whatever it is. And in that time, like, we were the original. And I remember I did a past life regression, and I remember that time of coming here as a Palladian, as a galactic, and slicing my DNA with the DNA of animals that were down here. We tried different animals, and it turns out that Homo sapiens, before they, you know, like the crane, before they were human, were the best fit. And we slice our DNA with their DNA, and that's what created what we now call Homo sapiens. We are a mixture of the galactic. It is in our DNA. It has been transferred to us generation as we go on. When we transfer, when we evolve, every generation is bringing their old DNA with them. And that DNA is being transferred to us, and that DNA is here. So we are the galactics. It's not like the galactics are up there in the sky coming down. Yes, there are some that did, but we are also the galactics, each one of us, because our DNA has been altered by those spirits that have been connected with that energy and that vibration. And as we come into this ascension process, we are going to recognize that that's who we are, that we are these galactic beings, that we have more power, more energy. We are stronger than we think. We are know more than we know. And we can tap into the Akashic records. We can tap into the Lemurian ancestry, the Atlantean ancestry, take the good from every culture and bring that forward. And that's, to me, what we're here to do at this ascension process. It is the new Lemuria, the new Atlantis, but better and bigger and more powerful than what has ever been done before, because we have evolved more than we've ever evolved more before. And that's what I'm excited to share and connect with, and to help people step into. And what you're doing is awesome too, Dani. Thank you for your work and being the strong one, putting yourself out there and sharing this information, because we're all going to have to do it. We're all going to have to stand in our truth. The lies cannot hold weight anymore. They're just falling away, and we cannot even, I can't even tell a lie. It's like you can't even get to that point. It's like you have to, and you cannot hold these high vibrational energies and have this low vibrational fear consciousness in you. So it's all about us clearing through that and raising our vibration. And it takes courage. Yeah. And what you're doing, putting yourself out there. I'm just doing it here in my beautiful little center, but it's all of us stepping into our truth. And I'm looking forward to what the future has to bring, and excited about all of this new awakening that we're going to step into. And then we don't have to worry about fear consciousness. Then we just get to play.
Yeah,
just get to play.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I wanted to also add, with everything that you shared there, which was so great, that there'll be people, they've been listening to other people on the, Lemuria, Atlantis, galactic history. And so there may be a couple of things there that they'll go, hang on a sec, so-and-so said this and so-and-so said that. There is the beauty in between, where you watching make up your own mind, what resonates with you. Do not correct Jeanne. She's bringing her information as she feels it and sees it, because there's a lot of that going on too. All of a sudden, everyone has a PhD in galactic history and Earth history, and they've got that PhD by watching people like you and other people I interview on my beautiful channel, and they're putting it all together, and then they get triggered and they start jabbing. Guys, please don't jab back, because I'll just delete your comment. Nobody needs correcting here. I'm really grateful, Jean Marie Russell, that you have come on my channel, and that I've mentioned you so many times to people. I've said about the Andara so many times, and I love it when I bring the actual person on and go, see, here she is. I didn't make her up. She's really here. And I bought my Andara from her. Yeah, brilliant. So thank you, my love.
Thank you.
And I'm sure hopefully you could be in the live chat when this goes out later today. It is January the 9th, 2023. And again, to remind that you're teaching the Andara class, how to work with the Andaras. That class is coming up on the 22nd.
No, the
Oh, no, that's
retreat's coming up on the 22nd. The Andara class starts in February. What is that? February 7th or February 4th? The February 4th is the first class.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
All right.
you know, it's not about the details. You know, it's about the energy.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, yep, I might have my dates wrong or energy, but you know, it's the energy of what we are, what we're working with. And that's me. I'm the energy therapist, and that's what I work with. And I work with energy, and it's feeling that energy and feel the energy of what you're doing, of what you're seeing, of what you're saying, and then connect with that is all I can say. You know, feel what feels right to you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jeanne. Jeanne Marie Russell, everyone, from the Dolphin Touch Wellness and Retreat Center in Kapaa in Kaua'i. To you viewers out there, thank you for spending time. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you that kind of gave up your spiritual path, put your cards away, put your crystals away, allow people to make you feel stupid, which was your decision. You let somebody make you feel stupid. And now is the time to really get everything back out, dust it all off, and just honor your own beautiful metaphysical and spiritual self. As we are ascending, you are part of the ascension. I am Dani Henderson. Thank you for being here. I send you my love, and I'll see you soon.
Oh, yeah.